Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck. So, I have a confession to make. I'm addicted to chicken fajitas. Like, I love this stuff. Growing up, there was this place in Long Island called Maison Olay. It's not there anymore. It's so sad. Rest in peace. I swear by their fajitas, they were like the best. I also happen to love jambalaya, which is like, you know, like a rice-based Cajun dish with the meat in there. And I said to myself, what can we do to marry the chicken fajita with this jambalaya flavor so I don't have to scoop out the rice separately and then do the chicken and then do the onions and peppers and just layer it in? No. How about we just mix it all together and then get a tortilla, line it with some guac, add that mixture of jambalaya fajitas. I think you guys are gonna lose your minds over this. So without further ado, forget about Taco Tuesday, it's Fajita Friday. Jambalaya fajitas. Let's get going. For this recipe, we're going to use chicken breasts that are really thin, or chicken cutlets. So if you can't find thin ones like this, just get regular chicken breasts and slice them so they are about this thick. And then we're going to cut them like that into strips, just like this. So it's perfect for fajita style, just how we like them. And again, I'm going to wash my hands because it's not the safest thing to touch chicken that's raw and then touch other things. We also want to cut our green peppers up into strips like this and just set aside. We'll cut up our Spanish onion and just make sure it's kind of like in a nice chunky dice fashion. And one bunch of scallions that I just basically sliced up, just like that. And because I think it's easier to prep all the spices at once into a little bowl so we can just dump it in, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, this stuff packs a punch, so the less you want to use, the less spicy it'll be, and the more you use, the more spicy it'll be. This stuff goes a really long way, so be cautious with it if you don't really like spicy food. Don't even use it at all if you don't want. But I'm only putting 1/8 of a teaspoon in there, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And then just stir all that up so the seasonings are all nice and mix in with each other. So great, and now we can just set aside until we need to dump it into the pot. To make your life a little easier, I recommend buying one of these dinner fajita kits. They come with tortillas, some seasoning mix, which we'll also add in, and some of the fajita sauce to add at the end. It's like $3.50. It just makes sense to do. It's just easier that way. Now we're going to add 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. And we're going to turn the pot onto saute. And I want to adjust it so it's on the normal setting. And we're going to wait until that gets hot, and then we're going to add our chicken. And now that it reads hot, I'm going to add my chicken. This is about 1.5 pounds worth right to the pot. And stir that around a bit for about a couple of minutes until all the chicken basically kind of looks white. Now we're okay if we have a little bit of the pinkness left. Most of the meat is brown, and we say olay. Okay, now I want to add in 2 tablespoons or 1/4 stick of butter. And then just mix it up until it's nice and melted. And now that the butter's all added in, we're going to add our spice mixture. Just like that. And we're also going to add that packet of fajita seasoning that came with my kit and add that to it as well. I'm going to give that a stir for about another minute. Oh yeah, things are getting serious here now, guys. Absolutely beautiful. We're coating everything, all the chicken with all the sauce that we're basically creating in here, and it is fantastic. Okay, now let's add our onions. This is 1 Spanish onion that I've cut up. Let's add our sliced bell peppers. These are 3 green bell peppers that I put in there. And let's add our scallions. That's 1 bunch sliced up. Give everything a stir. And now that everything's nice and mixed up inside the pot, just keep stirring it around a little bit. And now I'm going to add 1 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. You can use any kind you like. I like putting the zesty mild green chilies from Del Monte because it adds an extra kick. You can put the chipotle flavor too. But if you don't want that, you can just get regular ones. And we're going to use the juice and keep the juice in there. And dump that in and also mix that up. Go, make sure everything is nice and mixed and incorporated. It smells incredible. Doesn't that look pretty? It's like a potpourri of Mexico and Louisiana. And let that just simmer for a few minutes, like about, 3 or so minutes, so it can get, nice and incorporated, and then just keep stirring every so often. And be sure to occasionally just scrape the bottom of the pan so nothing is sticking. And now you see it simmering a little bit. This has been about 3 to 4 minutes. It's cooked down some. Don't worry if the peppers are still a little hard or the onions. It's okay because we're going to pressure cook it. But the next step, we're going to take some Goya Arroz Amarillo. You could do the low sodium one too as well. And I took 1 pack. I had this multi-pack. This is an 8-ounce pack. And we're just going to pour it right into our veggie and chicken mixture. And we're going to mix that up. Okay, and just stir all this around. It comes with obviously a little bit of a seasoning in there as well, and just incorporate all the rice with it. And finally, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of water mixed with 1.5 teaspoons of better than bouillon chicken flavor. And give that all one final stir. And just do a little scrape on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on, make sure it's in sealing mode, and I'm going to hit manual, and I'm going to go all the way up to 20 minutes, just like that. 20 minutes. Okay guys, for this one, just as an FYI, your timer might start counting down while your pin is not up yet. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but if it does, don't worry about it. It'll eventually go up, so just don't worry about it at all. Just when it starts counting down, it's good, and when it's finished, we're just going to do a quick release. Speaking of that quick release... Okay, and let's take the lid off. Alright, and once we take the lid off, we then want to go down here and we want to hit saute on the less function. And we're just going to let some of this excess liquid that we have here just cook in with the rice a little bit more. We're going to stir and attend to it for probably about another, I don't know, I'd say 6 minutes or so. And then let's just keep stirring and stirring our delicious, delicious chicken fajita jambalayas. Look at how nice that is. For about just a few minutes until it gets nice and thick and thickens up. Of course, it's going to be a little liquidy once the lid comes off after pressure cooking. And really make sure you keep stirring so nothing really sticks to the bottom of the pot. It's totally fine if some does. This is not going to burn as long as you keep stirring it. And when it looks like this, we're pretty much finished. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the keep warm off button. We want it to be off. Because this puppy right here is done. Just going to let it sit for a few after stirring around a little bit. Again, we don't want it to stick to the bottom at all, so just keep stirring it a little bit. And we're just going to let it sit, and we're going to then serve it into a bowl. And there we go. I transported it to this beautiful serving bowl, and look at that. Look at the colors. Look, if you could smell it, it's unbelievable. It's this beautiful, thick consistency of Mexico marrying the South. Now this can be served in one of two ways. Either we can make it fajita style, where we scoop out some of the delicious fajita jambalaya and put it in a tortilla. So I'll have Richard helping me out here. I'm going to show you how to assemble this. This is going to be very messy, by the way. I'm just letting you know it's a messy, fun meal to have. So we're going to take a tortilla and we're going to line it with some guacamole, just like so. Not too much, but just perfect. Now we're going to take some of the fajita mix.
Not too much.
Not too much, because you can get bigger tortillas, by the way. If you don't want to get the kit, get bigger ones. That's a good amount right there. Right? Now put some sour cream if you want. Okay, great. You got some cheese sprinkled on there. And very nice, very nice. And some fajita sauce if you want. It's already so flavorful, but just a little bit on there. There you go. Fantastic. And wrap that baby up if you even can. There we go. Oh yeah. Now let's moment of truth. You might want to put that plate underneath you at the same time. How does that taste, Richard? He has very good manners. He doesn't talk with his mouth full. Or we can put it in a bowl and serve it jambalaya style. And there it is, nicely plated in our bowl. So let's add to this a little bit of guacamole, a little bit of sour cream, if you'd like some, and add some shredded Mexican cheese. Let's try it out, guys. We know the drill by now, huh? Alright. There's only one way that I can describe this.